This new chart I've kind of put together that's going to give you how many different ways you can rebid as opener in kind of a very generic way, so you can kind of carry this chart around and look and see what bids you can make in certain situations where you're the opening bidder and you're trying to figure out what to do next after partner responds. So I've broken this chart down into a few different sections, and they're mainly these colors here on the left, right? So we're looking at non-forcing bids, which are all the bids that are up here in green. And then we have invitational bids, which are purple. And these are right here in the middle. And then we have forcing and game forcing, which will be the bids right on the bottom. Okay. And you're looking at this right on YouTube, and you're also, if you're signed into Bidbox, you're looking at this as well. And if you sign into bidbox.xyz, you'll be able to make the calls right along with us as we go. And the chart is actually right on the front page of learnbridge.nyc. So after this class, and I'll link it in the comments after the video uploads, but if you go right here, you'll see a copy of this that you can just download. It's right on the front page, and you can get a color copy of it. I recommend printing it in color if you can, just because it makes a little bit more sense when you're looking at it. But essentially, this is titled 1x, 1y, and then a question mark, which means we have opened one of a suit. Our partner has responded one of a suit. What do we do next, and what do these bids show? So if we take a look at just this top screen here, at the very top part we see 12 to 14, and then what I've done is I've put a generic auction right here, which means the opener has opened one of a suit. X, Y, and Z are essentially suits, and no trump is N. Okay, so here we have the opener opening one of a suit and the responder bidding one of a different suit. And now opener's bidding one no trump. And we should all know that when this happens, we open one, partner responds one, and we bid one no, that we're showing 12 to 14 balanced. That's all this chart is trying to show. So whether it's one club, one diamond, one no, or one heart, one spade, one no, it makes no difference. It's always exactly the same situation. It's showing 12 to 14 balanced. And on the chart right next to this, in every column, I just have kind of a couple of small bid box cards that'll give you a sample auction. So this sample is one diamond, one spade, one no trump, right? So whenever you see these three bids made, you can absolutely reliably assume that that range is 12 to 14. Now if I take a little step down here to the 12 to 15 box, I'm going to be looking at auctions where I open one of a suit. My responder bids one of anything, right? So this could be one of a suit or one no trump. And I simply rebid the same suit at the two level. So 1x, one anything, 2x. And in the example, we see one club, one no trump, two clubs. That should always be around 12 to 15. It could be kind of a crummy 16 also, but I'm trying to give you pretty solid ranges so you know what each of these bids are going to mean. And in this case, whenever we open the bidding and then just rebid our suit at the lowest level, that range is around 12 to 15. Same goes for when we open one of a suit, our partner responds one of a different suit, and we raise their suit one level. That should also be right around 12 to 15 points. The reason it's not 12 to 14 is these are the types of hands where we may not be opening one no trump. The reason the top one is 12 to 14 is because, hey, we didn't open one no trump originally, but now we've shown a balanced hand, so it has to be 12 to 14. Where we're rebidding a 6-card suit or we're raising partner suit, this section down here, we're going to be a little bit wider ranging. And these are all still non-forcing. All of the green bids are color coded as non-forcing, so partner can always pass whatever you're doing in this section. Here's where a lot of people get confused, and this is the 12 to 17 box. A lot of people are incorrectly jumping with like 16 and 17 point hands when they don't have to. And we'll get into that when we start bidding some of these hands I've set up for you guys. But here you can see when we open one of a suit, 1x, partner bids one of a different suit, and we bid a third suit at the one level. And the example auction is a pretty normal one: one diamond, one heart, one spade. This one spade bid has a range of 12 to 17. A lot of people think it's, oh, that's a minimum, it's 12 to 15. And to be honest, it usually is going to be, right? How often are we really going to have these unbalanced good hands? But just be aware that in all these situations, this is 12 to 17. Essentially, when opener bids a new suit at a lower level than their original suit, right? Not a reverse, they're showing 12 to 17 points. Same is true when we open a higher ranking suit, one spade, partner bids one no trump, and we bid two hearts. Same 12 to 17 points, right? We're not going to be jump shifting unless we have a very, very strong hand. Okay, so this is essentially the entire non-forcing section of the chart. And you can see the ranges for our non-forcing bids are going to be all the way from 12 to 17. One quick thing I probably should have told you originally: X, Y, and Z are ranked this way. X is the lowest ranking and Z is the highest ranking suit. So you can see in this little box here, the opener is opening a higher ranking suit and then bidding a lower ranking suit second, right? So that will come into play when we get a little bit further down the chart. I want to just poll the audience here, and I want you to let me know if this is making sense to you. If you're confused about anything that you're looking at, please type a question into the chat, and I'll give you a couple seconds to do that, and then I'll just jump on to the next section of the chart. I just want to make sure you guys all have a good understanding of how to use this, and you can feel free to give it to your friends at the club. Do whatever you want with it. It's a very good way to kind of have a little memory tool to let you know what each of these rebids are going to mean when you make them. I'm not seeing anybody type anything in, so I'm going to jump to the next section here, which is our invitational section. These are the bids that we're essentially going to see our partner respond, and we're going to make a stronger bid than just our normal, like, lowest level rebid. And you can see the first auction here in the 16 to 18 range. We see that the opener has opened one of a suit. The responder has responded anything at the one level. And here, as the opener, we're jumping and rebidding our suit, right? So we could have just bid two of our suit, but we jumped to the three level. And the example here is one diamond, one heart, three diamonds. Three diamonds by the opener says, hey, I have a 6-card diamond suit. I'm rebidding it, so it's always 6. And I have more than just my minimum. Our minimum here is 12 to 15. So this says, hey, I have about 16 to 18. And I like to call it a good 16, right? If you have a reasonable 16 with a 6-card suit, you're just going to jump to three diamonds and show it that way, right? And now partner knows, hey, you have a little more stuff. And this is essentially saying we can play higher if you actually have a reasonable hand that can go to game. Oh, there's a good question here. One diamond, one heart, one spade. Isn't it a reverse? It is not. A reverse actually happens, and I'll go to the chart actually. This is a good question. Here is a reverse. And a reverse is always going to occur at the two level. And it's going to be where we open a lower ranking suit and then bid a higher ranking suit at the two level. And we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get down here. But that is a reverse. It never occurs at the one level. So when it goes a diamond, a heart, a spade, you haven't reversed because you're still at the lowest level of the auction, right? So you're not showing any extra values. You could, in fact, have a 12 count, but just know that the higher end of that range is 17. Oh, there's a good question by Diane here. Curious about what the right side notation of 12 to 15 is, and I'm assuming you're talking about this here. All I wanted to do is bracket these so that it was clear what the ranges were, right? I could essentially chop off the right-hand side of this chart if I needed to, but I just want to make sure it's clear where we are in those ranges. So sorry if that's a little confusing, Diane. Thanks. And the next invitational bid is exactly like our 12 to 15 section. It's going to be a little bit higher. And this is when we jump and raise our partner suit. So 1X, 1Y, 3Y. And the example is one diamond, one spade, three spades, right? That should be 16 to 18 for sure. And we can figure that out just by thinking, hey, 19 is four spades. So it's right below 19, and it's just above that 12 to 15. That's our minimum, right? So it's nice smack dab in the middle of those bids. And these are essentially the only two bids that are going to show specifically this range, like 16 to 18. The jump rebid of your own suit and the jump raise of partner's suit. And everybody knows the next one. And some of you might be surprised that this is in the invitational category. The next category here is 18-19, and it's 18-19 balanced. This is not technically forcing, even though it's rarely passed, but it is a bid that can be passed. So here's the auction: one of a suit, one of anything, including one no trump, by the way. Could be one diamond, one heart, two no, or it could be, as the example shows here, one spade, one no trump, two no trump. Anytime this happens, one, one, two no. So anyone, two no. It shows 18 to 19 balanced, and that is still in that invitational category. And what I'll say is, this is what I would refer to as highly invitational, meaning it's rarely ever going to be passed. Because think about it, partner has shown 6+ points, and I have 18-19. It's unlikely we're not going to be in game. However, it can happen. Yeah, Bogdan, the lesson will always be uploaded directly to YouTube afterwards. It'll just be a replay. You won't be able to make your bids live, but you will be able to watch the lesson anytime you want. Two more to go, and then we'll jump into bidding some of these hands. These next two are the ones you're not going to see very often, and they are the single forcing bid. And notice these are the only two sections where the opener can make forcing bids. One section right here is just forcing for one round, and this is our reverse. This is a lower ranking suit, an X, followed by anything, one no trump, one spade, and then a higher ranking suit at the two level. And this is what's called a reverse, folks. It always shows 17 or more points. Could be kind of a very shapely 16. Use your judgment here, but it's a very good hand, which is why it is forcing for one round. And the reverse is not a very well named bid, which is why most people forget it. And some people even go as far as saying, I don't play reverses. None of you can say that. Anyone watching this in the future or watching now, you all play reverses. If you play bridge, you play reverses. You just might forget them sometimes and improperly use them, which is fine. That's how we learn how to do it. But think logically about this particular auction on the right. If I've opened one club, my partner bids one no trump, and I bid two spades. If partner wants to play clubs, my original suit, which is usually their choice when we bid two suits, they're going to take a preference for one of them. We're forcing them to do that at the three level. And think about their one no trump bid. This is going to be 6 to 10. As we've opened a minor, they bid a no trump, so showing 6 to 10. If I am forcing my side to the three level, okay, and I have not enough points to do so. What if my partner has 6 and I have 13? Now we're at the three level with 19 points. Right? So the reason the reverse has to be strong is because we're essentially forcing our whole side to a higher level by doing this. So in order to make this bid, we must have that 17+ points. And the other one is one you've all heard of, but probably rarely used because, to be honest, it does not come up that often. It's the jump shift, and it is the only game forcing bid the opener will ever make on their rebid. And this happens when we open one of a suit, partner bids, can bid one of anything, and we are jumping to three of a different suit, or jumping to two sometimes, right? If we open, let's say, a diamond and our partner bids a heart, two spades would be a jump shift. We're jumping one level and we're shifting suits. This is reserved for your best of your best hands. That's why it says 19 plus. It's a huge hand always. It essentially says, partner, I can play game opposite any garbage you chose to respond with. right? So it's a very, very strong hand. Like I said, not going to happen terribly often, but the times where it does happen, it's nice to be able to get a game forcing bid in there as the opening bidder. Yeah, good, good. Yeah. BBO says reverse is 21 plus. No, that's the probably robot speak. It's certainly not, doesn't have to be that good at all. And if it was that good, like 22 plus, you're almost always going to be opening two clubs. It's just a way that they have to, I believe, tell the robots, hey, that's a good hand, you shouldn't pass. Right? So, and one key thing is we never can pass a reverse, and we can never pass a jump shift below game, right? So if we've jump shifted or our partner jump shifts, we are always, always, always playing game, no matter what happens. All right, so let's jump into some hands here. Let me just switch scenes and let's go right here. So now we're just going to kind of practice our rebids. I've set up about 15 hands here for us to bid. And for those of you that might have just joined us or this are new to this, you can just go to bidbox.xyz, click enter class. It might ask you for an email address. And if you put your email in, you get a copy of this sent right to you afterwards. So go ahead and do that if you want. And you'll be able to make bids right along with us. So right now we see that we have opened the bidding one spade. Our partner has responded one no trump, and we are deciding what to do. So place your bid right in the bid box. Tell me what you want to bid with this hand. And this is one we may have seen before in this. This is good. I have so far 6 answers and 4 different answers. So I love it when we see this. And once again, for anyone that joined us late, I'm so sorry I had to change the topic very last minute. But I hope this is a nice substitute. It's something we've been working on here locally, and I hope you enjoy it and get use out of it. I see a pretty good mix of choices here. I will say that 46%, which is the largest group, has this one wrong. But I promise you will never get it wrong again after this, unless maybe you forget, which can happen to us bridge players here. Okay, the best bid always in this situation is two hearts. And this is just a rule for all time now going forward. When you have 6 spades and you have 4 hearts and you're choosing your rebid, you always choose the 4 card heart suit first. You can always come back or usually come back and bid spades later if partner gives you the opportunity. Okay, but here you always bid your 4 card heart suit first because it's more likely to be the spot where you have a fit. Even though your hand is really good, this will on our chart be our 12 to 17 range, right? We've opened a spade, our partner bid a no trump, and we bid 2 hearts. In fact, that's the example auction right here. 12 to 17. So even though we have a really good hand, it's technically still only 15, although you should recognize this is a very strong 15. So some of you actually jump to 3 spades, which I can understand because it's so juicy, right? Especially the shape is so good. But don't be in a rush. You're still within the range of points that you need to be in, and you're absolutely supposed to show hearts in this situation. Now, a lot of people would also do the same with a 4 card minor. Ace, King, Jack, 10, 6, the spades, and a 4 card minor. I wouldn't mind you bidding the 4 card minor here. In fact, some of the old school pros love that, right? They don't do anything other than bid their 4 card suit next. So I'll leave it up to your judgment there. But when it's hearts and spades, 6 spades and 4 hearts, always bid hearts. Just make that a rule and you will be very happy going forward. All right, next case. Here we've opened a diamond. Partner bids a spade. Your call. see a most of you getting this nailed. Some of you are making an adventurous bid, I'll give you that. And we'll see those adventurers in a second. Uh, I'm just going to go ahead and do this because I think most of us are on the same page here. You're just going to bid two diamonds with this hand. Some of you actually chose to bid one no. Three of you did, which, I respect your idea here because, hey, maybe you get there and you steal a really sweet score in one no trump, but, I'm just terrified of a heart lead. So never want to misrepresent my shape for sure. And essentially, whenever I have a six card suit, this is why this is such an easy opening bid because I just get to open it and rebid it at the lowest level. So that's what you should always do here. Your ace of hearts is a stopper, but it is one stopper in a sea of hearts, possibly. So you just need to be very careful and just show your shape. And if no trump is right, you're bound to get there by one or the other of you bidding this. Okay. Uh, you might have been thinking ahead and saying, "Hey, I want partner to bid new minor forcing so I can show my three card spade suit. So I need to bid a no trump." Partner has other ways to do that also. So just make your best bid. Don't try to anticipate anything coming ahead of you, unless you have some thinking or some room you need to conserve in different auctions. Here, never misrepresent your shape in order to create something that might not be there. Cool. All right, next case. Here we open a heart and partner bids a spade. Your call. All right. So the best bid here is honestly the most logical choice, right? You have a second suit. It's four cards. You're bidding your second suit, right? You've already shown five hearts, and that's what this cooperative auction is going to give us, right? We just want to show our hand always, and here partner has made a bid that might see us finding a spade fit later, but we have nothing but two diamonds to bid, right? One no trump is much more egregious on this one than it was on the last one because we don't even have a stopper in the club suit and it's our shortest suit, right? So this is a time where if we suggest no trump, we might doom our side. So here we just want to show our shape the best way possible. And now think about it. Partner knows about nine cards in your hand. That's great, right? If you're playing with a partner that's going to figure some stuff out, which I know you all have good partners, give them help, right? Show them your shape, let them find out more about your hand, and then you'll make your weird bids for other days. You save those for your partners that look a little tired and want you to play no trump. But here it would be very, very risky. All right, so we've opened a diamond and our partner now has bid a spade. Your call. all doing real well on this one. This is the classic one no trump rebid, right? We have shown that we have exactly 12 to 14 points, and we have, sorry, I have something on the screen here that I need to get rid of. There we go. Okay. Sorry. We have a normal balance 12 to 14, which is exactly what this is going to show. And we may have been tempted to bid two hearts, which some of you did, but that is a reverse, right? We've opened one of the diamond suit, partner bid a spade, and now we're going past the two level of diamonds into two hearts. This is where we forced partner to the three level if they want to play our suit. So while two hearts, and I apologize because the last hand I said you would need to show your shape always. This is one of those times where unfortunately you can't show your four card heart suit, and it's because of the fact that it is higher ranking than your original suit. So you would be showing a big hand, 17 plus points. So here we just bid one no trump. And the cool part about this situation is if partner has four hearts, you're about to find out either by new minor forcing, or if you don't play that, partner will just bid their four card heart suit, which means they had more spades than hearts. So you'll always find your heart fit. Don't worry about that. You kind of are forced to just bid a no trump, which is still fine, balanced 12 to 14. It's just you can't bid your four card heart suit because that would show a bigger hand than what you're looking at, right? So 12 to 14, bingo, one no trump. All right. This time we've opened one diamond and partner bids one heart. We have this 16 count here. Actually, yeah, 17. Make your call. Okay, this is that rebid of a different suit, right? So 1X, 1Y, 1Z, right? We're at the same level, but whenever the opener bids a new suit after a one level response, it's that 12 to 17 range, which most of us have nailed here, right? We're just going to bid one spade. Two spades is our jump shift, and that's going to show 19 plus, a huge hand. So here you can see our ranges are always going to be the same when we rebid our suit, sorry, when we rebid a new suit at the one level or a lower ranking suit at the two level for that matter. It's the 12 to 17 range. And here it's a good hand, I'm not going to lie, especially that queen of hearts is not necessarily worthless, right? Because that was partner suit. So you like your hand for sure. But jumping to two spades would force the game. And what if partner has some sort of random five count? No, you're not necessarily going to be wanting to play game opposite a really bad hand from partner. Right? So just bid one spade and see what happens next. You certainly plan to bid again if given the opportunity. And to be honest, this is a bid that's rarely passed out. Meaning even if partner passes, the opponents are so likely to be balancing at the one level that you're going to get a chance to bid again and show some extra stuff. Right? It's a longer process than just two bids. All right. Here we've opened a club and partner bid one spade. Much nicer hand than last time, too. Good question. When we jump shift, do we count length points in making a decision on the bid? And the answer is sometimes you do. But I'm not a huge fan of saying, hey, add one specific point for length. I just think knowing you have a very good source of tricks or two good sources of tricks is worth an extra bid sometimes. A classic example is if I have like five spades and five hearts and it's a very juicy 17, that's a hand I might jump shift with, just under the understanding that I'm so likely to be finding a fit, and even if I don't, I have quite a good shapely hand. So you're going to use judgment a lot when you're deciding whether you have enough to reverse or jump shift, but I would save my jump shifts for literally the best of the best. And when I say like a 17 count, I mean, ace, king, jack, 10 fifth of spades, and ace king queen fifth of hearts. That's a hand that is super strong, and even though it's only 17, all the cards are concentrated in your best suits, so for sure I would be happy with that one. All right. And we see that most of us are nailing this, and this is a funny one because you technically, based on the chart, have two bids you could make. You can actually bid two hearts with this hand, which would be your reverse. Right? It would show I have a four card heart suit and 17 plus points. But that's not the best bid to describe this hand. The best bid by far is two no trump, because you're showing 18-19 balanced, which is exactly what you have. You're so flat here, so that's the perfect bid. Two hearts technically is not wrong high card point wise, but I want to just make sure you're aware that when we're reversing, or and for that matter, when we're jump shifting frequently, we're unbalanced, right? We know what to do with our good balanced hands, right? We open two no, we open one no, we open one and rebid two no, right? Our reverses and our jump shifts are almost always some sort of unbalanced hand. That's all I just want to make sure we're clear on. Okay, so here I'm going to move to the next hand, and we see that we've opened a heart and our partner has bid a spade. What do we do with this one? One heart, one spade. All right, I think most of us are in, and the correct bid is two clubs. Once again, the best bid that describes our shape. And I want to talk about some of the other choices that we had. I think three spades is just a misclick. We only have two spades, so we wouldn't want to do that. One no trump is interesting because you think you're kind of semi-balanced, but I'll just put it out there this way: when you're 5-4 with a lower ranking suit, obviously you open hearts so you can bid clubs. I just always show that four card suit, and especially when I'm looking at two small diamonds, I'm not perfect for no trump, and I'm not saying you have to have a stopper to bid no trump every single time. It's just in this situation you have such a good choice other than one no trump that you just wouldn't do that. Okay, sometimes you're backed into a tough bid no matter what. So in this spot you're really not. You have a normal two club rebid, so you can just make that. Those of you that bid two hearts, that shows a six card suit. Why show a six card suit that you don't have when you can show nine cards in your hand, five hearts and four clubs? Okay, so in this case, always show your shape, and that's the note right on this slide. Tony's asking a question here. Why does clicking the bid on the video not do anything? Oh, if you are trying to click the bid on YouTube, it doesn't work that way. You need to actually, in a new window or on your phone, just go to bidbox.xyz, and that is the program that we're all using to make the bids as we go along. So if you go there on any browser that you open, you'll be able to kind of enter the class and make your bids right there. It's a good question. I didn't think about that. All right, let's take a look at the next hand here. And this time we've opened a heart and partner bids one no. So one heart, one no trump. Your call. Actually, good question, Lisa. Yeah, sometimes you're going to be boxed into making a kind of a white lie on your rebid. Either you'll be bidding a five card suit again, which is fine when you don't have another good option. It'll happen very frequently when the opponents bid a suit, right? If the opponents bid a suit and you kind of don't have that stopped and you can't bid no trump, sometimes you're backed into just bidding a two cards, or sorry, a five card suit, rebidding it. And sometimes you're just going to have to make maybe an uncomfortable raise in certain situations. But when you have a good option, there's no reason to kind of do anything weird. And that last hand, we had five hearts and four clubs. So it's just so normal to just rebid your four card suit. All right, very good. We have a wide range of heart bids here, and I'm gonna give you the bid I would make. It would be two hearts for sure. Right? I still like my hand. Obviously, I have a good suit, and I just don't have the values to be jumping to the three level. Right? I have 15, and when I really look at my 15, I have queen small of diamonds, which might not be that good for me. Right? Whenever you have an honor that kind of can't stand up to the top two honors, right? Your queen is possibly worthless. You want to just not value that too highly. And I know some of you are also thinking, hey, I have two doubletons, so I can add points for that. You can't, actually. You actually do not know you have a fit yet. So counting those as actual shape points is not really going to help you out, because what if you end up playing no trump? Your doubletons are kind of worthless, right? Tony, I agree with you. I like this hand. I love the suit. The suit is excellent. I just am not a fan of jumping to three hearts, especially because I really don't need to be jumping around. If partner's going to bid again, they're going to bid again, right? And then I'm absolutely going to go to game. I have a maximum, but I just don't have enough to be jumping to three hearts, even as much as I love my suit, right? If I had a little more shape, you might see a little more aggression from me. But here, with that suspect diamond card, it's fine to just bid two hearts. And the times where you bid three with these hands, yeah, you're either going to be really right or really wrong. Right? Why not just bid two? And if it's right for partner to bid, they'll help you out, and you'll certainly get another chance at this. Okay, let's take a look at another one. Here we've opened one diamond and partner bid a heart. This is an interesting one. And this is interesting for a number of reasons. There are two very reasonable calls here, and I know this because this happened to be a hand that I gave to a bunch of my pro friends, people like Joe Grew and John Hurd, and uh, the names of the bridge world, and they were mixed on this as well. A lot of us bid one spade, which I have as the correct answer here. However, I don't mind two no trump at all, right? Two no trump is actually not an unreasonable call with this hand if you worry about partner passing. However, again, when we make this one spade bid, it's so unlikely to just go all pass that we can be flexible. And that's all I'm trying to say here. In this case, I even have 18. So this is even above the range of our 12 to 17. I'm glad that only a couple of you jump shifted. This is definitely not enough for a jump shift, right? And picture this. Picture your best hand that you didn't open two clubs. Those are your jump shifts, right? Those are the very best of the best. Here, it is a very strong hand, but not that great. As far not great enough to jump shift. Here I would just bid a spade, and here's what my plan is. I bid one spade, and let's say partner bids one no. Now I bid two no. And now partner knows I have some sort of, semi-balanced or unbalanced hand with 17 or 18, right? They know I have extra stuff. And you're, I can't say always, but you're so frequently going to get another call that it's okay to just bid one and then bid again. Because usually on these auctions, partner's going to try to sign off somewhere. And then you just refuse to sign off. That's how you show a much better hand. Uh, 35% of you, seven of you bid two no. I'm fine with that. It's a little worrisome when, they might be able to get off to a good club lead, but you can't worry about everything. So here, if you bid one spade, great, which 50% of you did. If you bid two no, I'm okay with it also. Anything more than that, the jump shift is too much. And we just don't want to be forcing the game with this hand. Okay. Any questions so far on that one? Especially that one. That one was probably a little, we weren't sure exactly what was right in that spot. All right, so here we've opened a spade and partner bid a no trump. Your call. I am very impressed with the answers so far. This is looking good. All right, the correct bid with this one is just like it was before, actually, when it was hearts. It's two diamonds. Now, I want to make sure we're clear why it's two diamonds. The best, it's the most economical way to show the shape of your hand because you get to show at least nine cards. But also look at the quality of that diamond suit. King, Queen, Jack, fourth. That's a suit that you absolutely want to be bidding. Even if you really want to rebid six card suits always, never do it with hearts. And also never do it with a very good quality four card minor suit. If you take the King, Queen of diamonds out of diamonds and put them into spades and then put two small diamonds into the diamond suit, now I completely understand rebidding your six card spade suit, right? If all your values are there, by all means, unless it's the heart suit that has four cards, go ahead and rebid. But here, you get to show both your suits and both suits that you really do want to show because of the concentration of values in that diamond suit. And this is absolutely going to be the best way to show your shape and be able to kind of get all of your cards out there as quickly as possible. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Yeah, Kelly, if you're having any issue with the bid box, just go ahead and refresh your browser. If you refresh it, sometimes it'll just go take you right to the next problem. I hope that works for you. All right, and this is a fun one, and I think I've given this one to any of you that have come to a live class before. Here you've opened a heart and partner bid a no trump, which you play as the forcing no trump. All right, so you've opened one heart, partners bid one no trump. What do you do with this hand? And I have to remind all of you, as I did earlier, you cannot say I do not play reverses. You all do. That might be helpful here. All right, we have A very, very good mix of answers, and I'm going to throw the best answer up here. It's two clubs. Now, I know some of you are going, what? How can you bid a two card suit? Well, let's think about this auction and what it's usually going to entail. When we open a major and partner bids one no trump, we're forced to bid, right? If you're playing this as semi forcing or forcing, it wouldn't matter. You're just always going to rebid with this hand, likely. So you want to make a call, especially when it's forcing, you have to. Two spades is a reverse. Remember, we've opened one heart and now we're bidding a higher ranking suit at the two level. So if partner wants to return to hearts, they have to go to three hearts. And that is not acceptable, especially when partner has their bare minimum. So here we can't bid two spades. It shows 17 plus points. So now we're in a problem situation. And this is kind of what we were talking about earlier. When you rebid hearts, you're showing six. So I understand five of you bid two hearts, which if you don't know about this little thing I'm about to tell you, it's probably the best choice you have. But think about the forcing no trump. I'm already allowed to rebid a three card minor when I play the forcing no trump. Okay. And when I'm allowed to do that, I'm doing it for a reason because I'm going to have problems. Especially, this is the classic one no forcing problem when you actually have four spades and five hearts. You're allowed to bid two clubs here also. And it's the better bid because I always like to reserve the rebid of two of my major after the forcing no trump. Should always be six, right? You should always be able to find a bid otherwise. So partner already knows not to count on me for too many of a minor if I bid it. So I'm going to bid the lowest minor and hope we survive. And if partner passes, they're certainly going to have a good reason for passing. So I would expect a minimum of five clubs in their hand anyway. So this is not going to be a disaster, and it just keeps everything normal, and you get to figure out where you belong from this point. And it could be clubs, diamonds, or even hearts. Most of the time, in these situations, partners just taking a preference for your major and occasionally taking a preference for the suit you just bid. Okay. They should, Tony. Tony has a good question here. They standardize forcing no trump now. They don't. Any beginner class I would ever teach would teach 2/1 as the bidding system. So I would consider it standard for people to play the forcing no trump, and I think it's actually easier to play it that way. Some people play a little bit more of advanced, like a semi forcing no trump, and that's fine. You just want to have the judgment to be able to handle that. All right, let's go to the next one. Hi Pam, thanks for joining. All right, this time we've opened one spade and partner bids a no trump. Your call. I'm just looking at some of the comments here. Yeah, the bid box is a very realistic bidding system because once you press that bid button, you're committed, right? You can't pick the bid up. So it's realistic bridge, I think. Yeah, this one is pretty straightforward. Most of you are just going to rebid two spades, which is correct. You have a six card suit. The reason this is in there is just to make sure no one's bidding three spades, right? Not good enough to jump, even though it looks like it's extra values. 12 to 15 is our range when we rebid. Partner should know that. We have a very good 15. Boom. Two spades. All right. This time we open a diamond and partner bids a heart. And apparently we paid the director for an upgrade because we have a hand. Make your call. Nicholas, good question. It is not hard to learn 2/1 for anyone that's used to standard American. It's actually very simple and it will simplify your bidding system to a great degree, which is why it's so popular. And if you like, you can go to my site, and there is a very good 2/1 lesson on there, at least from my opinion. And I'm certainly biased, but I'm going to just pop that link in the chat right now. Here, let's pop it in there. All right, there's the 2/1 lesson, and it essentially has notes, videos, and about four really good quizzes that'll take you through a bunch of different stuff. So if you go to learnbridge.nyc and just click on learn at the top, you'll find all the lessons. That just happens to be a link right to the 2/1 lesson. Just practice with it, throw it on your card and play it at the club, and just use it, right? The more you use it, the more you'll understand it. It's very good for when you both have good hands because it simplifies your life to a great degree. And let's jump back into this hand here. We open a diamond, partner, bit of heart. We jump shift. This is the hand I was talking about, right? Our best of the best. It is a huge hand with tons of quick tricks and shape, right? So we know we're playing game. We have to tell partner that, right? So here, if you bid one spade, again, unlikely to be passed, but it still could be. It's still in the non-forcing category. So here, we want to show that we have an unbalanced hand, and we want to show that we have a huge hand that can play game. That's how we do it. The only times we can force partner to bid are this one, and this is game forcing, or if we're able to reverse, that would be just a one round force at least. But here, we know we're playing game. And 2 no would be I'm balanced. Whoa, you're not balanced. And if you bid 2 no, you might play 3 no when you're cold for 6 diamonds or even 6 spades for all you know, right? So here, jump shift to see what partner does, and obviously we're going to take our time and navigate these waters correctly. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Here we opened a diamond, or sorry, excuse me, we opened a club, partner bid a diamond, and now it's our call. That's a good 16 here. And I think this one is way too easy because of all the stuff we've done here. The only reason I put this in is because I did see 2 people jump shift with this hand during a duplicate game a few months ago, so I want to make sure we're all on the same page. For sure, just one heart, right? You have a good hand, you have extra values for sure, but jump shifting is the last hand, that big monster, right? This is just one heart, right? Even if you had 17, same. Just bid one heart. Partner hasn't technically denied any majors here. However, when they bid a diamond, they're not that likely to have it. But who knows? Partner could have a good 5 card diamond suit in 4 hearts and chose to bid diamonds. So we'll just bid one heart and see what partner does next. Tony, how do you back out of a misclick? You don't. Before clicking the bid, sorry. If you, let's go on to the next hand and I'll show you real quick. Here we go. Okay, so if I press 3 spades and I'm like, oh, I needed to bid hearts, all I do is press hearts. Or if I meant to bid 5 hearts instead, 5. You can change all of these to anything you want all the way up until the point you click that bid button. Once you click that bid button, it's just like dropping the bidding box card on the table. You're in. All right, so this time we opened a heart and partner bid a no trump. Your bid. That's not the pass isn't a suggestion. I'm just throwing stuff in here. All right. See that this might seem a little similar to a hand we just saw, a little different shape, but same concept. Here we've opened a heart and partner bid one no trump, which should still be the forcing no trump, right? It tells us that we have to bid, and this is when we're playing 2/1. And in this system, because of problem hands like this one, and when we rebid our heart suit, we have to have 6. We are always allowed to bid a 3 card minor. So one heart, the forcing no trump by our partner. Two clubs, boom. I have three or more clubs, and I'm not denying six hearts, but this usually says, hey, I'm trying to find a bids because I can't rebid my heart suit. And once again, we cannot rebid two spades because that is our reverse. That is 17 plus points. That was an awful attempt at circling that. Right here. One club, one no trump, two spades. We open at a low level, a lower level suit than our second bid, which is at the two level. Whenever we do that, and that's what we'd be doing here by bidding two spades, we're showing 17 plus points. So we don't have that. We bid our three card club suit, and we are good. All right. I believe that was our last hand. So we are done for the evening. I appreciate you guys all attending this class. Sorry it was a last minute topic change, but I hope you got a lot out of this. And again, the chart that you're looking at during this lesson is right on learnbridge.nyc, and I'll pop those that address into the comments. It'll be right on the front page. It just says download chart here. It's just a PDF file of the picture. Uh, let's see. There's a question here. Going back a few hands ago, did you say not to rebid a six card heart suit? No. What we had a few hands ago was we had a six card spade suit, but we had king, queen, jack, fourth of diamonds. So that was a time where we would rather bid diamonds first. And then usually we'll get a chance to rebid our six card suit again if given the opportunity. So we should always have six when we rebid our suit, but sometimes when we have six, we'll choose not to rebid that suit because we actually have another good option. All right, thanks for the comments, guys. I appreciate it. It's always fun for me, and I'll be back with more of this stuff, and I will eventually get that playing one no trump class all set and ready for you guys. I don't like to bring it out into public unless it's perfect, so